Good afternoon, everyone. Can you all hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Now,
Yes.
guys, I'm
Good
going to ask
afternoon.
you, hi, good afternoon. I'm going to ask you to please turn on your mics and participate a bit more today. We're not going to be talking about much today. We'll just discuss unit number 8. Let me just get the attendance papers. Hi. Okay, guys, now today we're only going to be discussing unit number 8. Now, as to the calendar, or according to our calendar, this is the last unit that we should cover from the book. Now, since we're still going to be doing virtual classes next week, keep in mind that I might ask you to do the presentations next week using this virtual platform. Okay, I just have to check with Dr. Shahinda first. I have to check with Mrs. Shahinda first, and we'll see what we agree on. But just a heads up, keep your presentations ready, at least your second presentation, if you remember. The second one
Miss,
that
can
we
I
were
please
supposed
tell
to
you
do.
something?
Sure, what is it, Amina?
Yes, it's been like 2 weeks and I cannot access the website to check the book. I think I forgot my password and username. And how can I create a new account and get the book?
Now, Amina, if you have an issue with the book, you have to go to the bookstore. They're going to give you the same code they gave you the first time. Guys, any IT difficulties that you have, if it's with the book, yes, you have to go to the bookstore. If it's with the online practice, I can help you with that, but still, you have to get your code from the bookstore as well. They will help you with all of that.
How can I contact the bookstore? Are they still available?
Right now, I'm not sure, but you can contact them maybe tomorrow morning and ask them. Contact Bashir. Otherwise,
Oh,
just get their emails from the website or get their email from the website and email them.
okay,
I
thank you.
think I think the username is usually the email as well, because I never enter my username. I always enter my email.
Well,
So
the issue is not okay. Now, yeah, Amina said that what Said said is correct. Now, if you have an issue with the username, this means that you forgot your username. If you have an issue with the book code, you have to go back to the bookstore. Because basically the username and password, you do it manually. This is yours. Everyone has their own. But the book code is from the bookstore. Make
Can I
sense?
create a new account and still use the same code that I was given?
I
I
think
have
yeah,
no
you
idea
can.
actually. You can go ahead and try, but I don't know.
Since I think the bookstore uses the same code, then you can make a new account and use the same code.
But the thing is, I'm not sure about this, but you can always check. But I think that when
Yeah,
you activate the code, you can like, you have to like, no more than one person can use one code. I think so. I'm not sure. But you can try. You can go ahead and try. If it didn't work, you can contact the bookstore again and they'll give you the code again.
Okay,
Okay?
thank you.
All right, good. Fatma, you have to attend half of this and half of that. Okay, now what was I going to say? Again, remember, keep or be prepared for presentation number 2, because like I said, You might do it next week using this online platform. Okay, I know that you were supposed to, like, you are supposed to be already, yeah, you were supposed to be ready for presentation number 2 like 2 weeks ago. So just in case, for those of you who aren't, please be ready. And if it's going to be next week, we're going to inform you. Okay, Amran, 1 hour here, 1 hour there. All right, we won't be long. All right. Okay, now let's start with unit number 8. Now, unit number 8, you're welcome, is all about success and failure. Basically, what is success to you? And let's say, do you see failure as a bad thing or a good thing? I know that we automatically assume that it's a bad thing, but sometimes it has its benefits. Okay, now to start with, let's look at these questions. Number 1, what are the different ways a person can be successful? According to you, what do you think? Number 2, in what ways do you think you are successful? Now, leave out question number 2. Let's think about question number 1. What are the different ways a person can be successful? Think about this question for a minute or two, and then we'll hear out your answers. Okay, Hasiba. Think about question number 1. What are the different ways a person can be successful? And then share your answers. Okay, ready? All right, let's share our answers. What are the different ways a person can be successful? What do you think?
Having a good job,
Okay, can you tell me more about that, Mariam?
like having a steady, good job with a good salary.
Okay, so you would say that having a good job. Okay, anyone
Yeah.
has the same answer or different answer? What do you guys think? Okay, good, Amran. Anyone else? Please turn on your mics. Anyone else? What are the different ways a person can be successful? Now, Amran summed it all up for us. Mariam said to be successful in a job. Amran said a person can be financially successful with wealth, academically successful in their studies, personally successful in terms of bettering themselves. Does anyone have a different opinion than other than what was mentioned right now? Anyone? No? Okay, now go to the second question. In what ways do you think you are successful? Think about this again for a minute or two and give me examples for it. In what ways do you think you are successful? Even if it's a tiny minor thing, it's totally fine. It's totally up to you. What do you think makes you successful? Okay, so who can tell me in what ways do you think you are successful? Anyone? Guys, now this is a speaking course. In order for us to go, or in order for us to move through it, you have to participate. We cannot move on to another question if I don't have any responses. So please turn on your mics and participate so we can get along with it. If you participate more, we'll be done with it before time, inshallah. Again, in what ways do you think you are successful?
I think I am successful when I started working in a young age. So I gained experience and I reached the not my ambition specifically. No, I reached the level that I wanted to reach at this age, at this young age.
Okay, great, excellent, Mariam, thank you.
Thank you.
This is Mariam's successful story. Anyone else? Or Mariam's story of success? Anyone else?
I think I'm successful because I'm happy and satisfied with what I'm doing, especially with my hobby. And I'm thinking of like actually making money with my hobby, such as my hobby is basically making music. I like to make music,
Good.
so if I feel satisfied with what I'm doing, I think I'm doing uh, better music. As the more I do it, I improve. So I think I'm successful in that regard.
Okay, great. Thank you, Said Zaid. Anyone else? What is your success story? Anyone else? Oh, come on. Out of 15 attendees, I only have two participants. What about the rest? Okay, great, Imran. Thank you. Okay, again, keep in mind, just like any other discussion question we've talked about before or we've mentioned before, there are no right or wrong answers here. It's all about what you have to say about it and how you can support your opinion with an evidence. So for example, like what Sayed Zaid said, he mentioned that he likes his hobby and then he talked a bit about his hobby and how he thinks it makes him successful. Okay, again, there are no right or wrong answers in this case. It's all about how you support your argument. Okay, all right, now let's see what do we have next. Now think about this question here. It's a mini questionnaire, let's say. What does success mean to you? Check at least 3 things that are most true or relate more to you. Which one or which 3, at least 3 of these options do you think relate to you or make you feel successful? Think about this for a minute or two. Now, when you finish choosing the 3 things that are most true to you, tell me the reasons to why you chose these 3 things. So for example, if you choose being rich, you have to tell me why did you choose this one. If you say having a job I love, and then tell me why do you think this is, why did you choose this option for you? Support your choices with valid arguments. Okay, anyone wants to share their answers? Tell me your options and tell me why did you choose them. Anyone?
We choose one
My
option
first
or two
option,
options?
I'm sorry.
That's okay. Go ahead, Mariam.
My first option is having a job that I love.
Why did you choose that?
It's because it is on a daily basis thing, so it surely will affect me. And the second thing is enjoying a happy family. Also, this one is socially important to myself and to my psychology inner self. Also, being able to do what I want, and that is, in my opinion, is time, travel, and all the other things.
Okay, great. Now, when you have time or travel, why do you think that will make you successful?
Because when I have the time to travel and to explore and to do things, I will surely come back and do better in the things that made me successful in the first place.
Okay, good, great. Thank you, Mariam. Next,
Thank you.
yes, Sayed.
I would say the first thing is being able to do what I want because if I think you're more likely to be more happy to do what you want because you're free and you have no repercussions most of the time. And
What do
second
you
one
mean,
is
no
having,
repercussions?
I mean, like if you like to do what you want, then most likely you're gonna do the things that you know most about or more have more knowledge about. You're not gonna do something that you don't know, right? Unless you do some background checks. And the
Okay.
second option I took is having a lot of friends. I think that's also one of the things that makes a person more comfortable in their life because it's always nice to have someone to talk to. Because being alone isn't really healthy. It makes a person sad, depressed. But meanwhile, when you have friends, you feel happy a lot of times because you don't feel alone. And the last option is enjoying good health because how can you be successful and happy when you're not healthy at all? Like what happens like if you
Yes.
don't take care of yourself and the next day you become sick and maybe even die because viruses or illnesses.
Good, great. Thank you, Zaid. Excellent answers. Anyone else with the same answer or a different answer, let's say? Okay, think about this one. The one I think you talked about was having lots of friends. Does anyone have a different opinion about this? That having lots of friends does not necessarily mean that you are successful, perhaps? Anyone with a different opinion? Okay, good. Thank you, Nada. Anyone with a different opinion about this point, having lots of friends? Or do you all think that this is one way to be successful?
It's not surely having lots of friends. It makes you happy.
How?
Sometimes just one or two is enough.
Okay, good.
Their support and their love is enough. And we, as we say in Arabic, كثرتهم قلة بركات.
Yeah. Okay. All right, good. Anyone else with a different opinion? Or does anyone have any points that we don't see here? To be strong physically, emotionally, spiritually, and psychologically. Thank you, Zahra. Okay, how? Yes, Nada, how? Now, Mariam said that we don't necessarily have to have so many friends. We can have two, and we could be, or they could provide us with let's say, a sufficient amount of support and care. All right, just like your point, Neda. What about you, Zahra? Would you care to explain more about that? To be strong physically, emotionally, spiritually, and psychologically. What do you mean? Okay. All right. Okay. Now this is a questionnaire for you to do. If you don't feel comfortable sharing it here in the classroom, I would suggest that you go over it and you try to have, let's say, an organized idea in your mind about what success means to you. Some friends only bring trouble and negative energy. Good, great. Now remember, this is a matter of opinion. Some people might say that having a lot of friends is a good thing because they need that kind of support. They provide you with that kind of support. Let's say they give you connections. They do so many good things for you. On the other hand, some people may disagree with that and they would say that having a lot of friends can be actually disadvantages for you or could be more negative than positive for you. Okay? Everyone has their own opinion. Now, like I said, go over these and have an idea about them. Organize your thoughts about them just in case you get a question like this in the midterm or let's say in the final exam, okay? Or in the one-to-one conversation in the final exam, all right? And remember now, not everything is mentioned here. You can even add your own opinion. You can even answer your own points if you would like. This is just like a hint for you, okay? All right, now let's go to exercise E on page number 179. Now, if you have your books open and turn to page number 179, I thought it would be a good idea to practice our vocabulary a bit since we don't do much of that online. Now, what I want you to do is I want you to look at exercise number E here. It's a vocabulary exercise. Okay, now think about or look at the words that we have in bold here and find their, let's say, closest meaning. So for example, number one, it may be difficult to achieve your dreams, but hard work can often help you get what you want from life. Now, the word achieve, which word do you think it's closest to? Reach, control, or remember? Achieve. Good. Reach. Now, think about the rest for a minute. Think about the words in bold. Now, the point of this vocabulary exercise is for you to use these words in your presentations or in your speeches in the future, whether it was related to this topic or any topic related to success and failure. Okay, now let's look at number 2. Determination is important for success. You have to keep trying even when it's difficult. Determination is closest to?
Willpower.
Okay, what about the rest? What do you think? Force, willpower, luck. إصرار. Determination is إصرار. What do you guys think? Number 2. Okay, come back to the screen and share your answers. Do you all agree it's willpower? Does anyone have a different answer? Okay, number 2 is willpower. Number 3, I love my job, but the downside is that the salary is low. Now, what do I mean by downside? Mistake, error, disadvantage.
I
Disadvantage.
think disadvantage.
Okay, do you all agree? Does anyone have a different answer? Good. It can be frustrating to try hard without succeeding.
Annoying. Yeah.
Frustrating. Do you all think it's annoying? Frustrating? Anyone with a different answer? Okay. Number 4 is C. Number 5. If at first you don't succeed, try again. This saying means don't give up. So give up would mean quit, fail, or alter.
What?
Quit.
Alter.
Alter means change.
A.
Quit means to, let's say, stop something. Fail means to not be successful at something. So give up is closest to
Quit.
quit. Does it make sense, Mariam? Alter is to change.
Yes.
Thank you. All right. Peter is a salesperson now, but his goal is to have his own business someday. His goal.
Ambition.
Do you all
Ambition.
agree it's ambition, or does anyone have a different answer?
Yes.
Okay. Number 7, there are various ways to measure success. It's not just about making lots of money. Measure.
Judge.
Judge.
Is it judge, enjoy, or discuss? What do you think?
Judge.
Judge.
Okay. Anyone with a different answer? Good. It's judge. Okay. Now, let's see page number 180, I think this is. It's not realistic to expect to be successful at everything you do. No one can be good at everything. Realistic.
Reasonable.
Realistic means واقعي, let's say in Arabic. So
Mm.
it would be
B. Reasonable.
reasonable, yes. Number 9, don't wash that sweater in hot water. You'll ruin it. Can you hear the noise coming from my side?
I can hear a faint buzz, but it's not distracting.
I don't know what that is. Anyways, don't wash that sweater in hot water, you'll ruin it. Ruin is spoil. Good. 10. Sarah's new job gave her a much higher status within the company. Status would mean position, activity, or status is basically makana, position. Okay, now, like I said, I'm unable to turn on the listening parts of the units here. You won't be able to hear it, and in order for us to conduct a proper, let's say, in order for us to conduct a proper listening exercise, we have to hear them, or sorry, we have to hear the recording all at once. Okay, so what I'm going to tell you is please do the listening exercises at home. All right, because remember, in your final exam, you do have a listening part as well. Okay. All right, now let's go to the benefits of failure. Now, like we said before, that failure doesn't necessarily have to be a bad thing. Sometimes it could have some advantages or benefits. Take a minute or two and think about this one. What are the possible benefits to failure? What do you think? Think about this for a minute or two. Okay, then guys, all right, tell me, what do you think are the benefits to failure? Give me some examples if you have any.
experience and learning from your mistakes, such
How?
as let's say you're cooking a cake and let's say you put it in the oven for too long
Mm-hmm.
and it comes out as burned, then you know you did something. And then when you inspect the problem, you realize that you put it in the oven for too long, and uh, and that was like the beginner mistake. And then the next time you do it,
Mm-hmm.
you're more sure to not make the same mistake twice, basically.
Okay, good, great, thank you. So it will help you for, let's say, to not make the same mistake twice. Excellent, Zaid. Anyone else? Benefits to failure. Let's see, Amran says failure can be a learning experience. For example, losing in a game or sport can help you see where you went wrong so you can do better next time. Yes, good. Anyone else? Benefits of failure, in addition to what we just said. Now, let me write them here for you. Benefits to failure. We said, number one, learn from mistakes. This is number one. Number two, Amran said, you see where you went wrong. Okay, what else? Benefits of failure, what do you think? Other than you learn from mistakes and you see where you went wrong and do better next time. Anyone else?
The more you fail, the more you come close to success. Having
Okay, great. How?
experience.
You gain experience. Exactly, Mariam, that sums it up. You gain experience. What else? Anyone else? Anything else that you want to share? Okay, so basically everything that you said so far is correct. Do we have, it will help you be a stronger person? How, Hasiba? How is that? How does it make you stronger? Good. Going through the lows of failure and standing up again. Good. So the same thing or the thing that affected you the first time may not affect you that much the next time. You'll be, let's say, more flexible with it or better able to cope with it. Good. Anyone else? Anything else that you would like to share before we move on? Okay, so these are the points that we have so far. If you have more, please share them before we move to the next slide. Anyone? Okay, excellent. Number 5, you will be more patient, thinking more about your decisions. Excellent. Now, what you, by making us, what do you mean, Zainab? Making us feed our hunger for success? What do you mean by that? Did you write something above it? Okay, so it will make you more determined to succeed. Excellent. And Zahra said more patient. Okay, good. Now, what you conclude from this slide is failure does not necessarily have to be a bad thing. Sometimes it's a good thing. Number one, it will make you stronger, like what some students mentioned, that you will be more able to deal with the issues that you have, let's say, in your first attempt. So for your second attempt, you'll be more practiced, you'll have more experience to deal with it, you'll be much more stronger, and things won't affect you as much as they did the first time. This is number one. Number two, you learn from your mistakes. So basically, what you would just like the second point, which was Imran's point. Now you learn from the mistakes that you did the first time, and you do it better next time, or you try to, let's say, avoid them next time. Okay, anything else? All right, good. Now, so far we have 4 to 5 ideas. Think of them, try to arrange them in, let's say, one speech for yourself when you are asked this question. Okay? Remember to give me examples about what you say. All right? Okay, now let's go to page 193 of our books. This is page... Okay, now in here, in page number 193, we're going to be working with quotes. Okay, now tell me, we are going to read the quote and decide on what it means and if you have an example for or related to the quote. So for example, let's look at number 1. Success is not the key to happiness. Happiness is the key to success. If you love what you're doing, you will be successful. Now, tell me, what does this mean and can you give me an example for it? Think about this for a minute. Look at this quote, tell me the meaning, give me an example for it. I think this is a bit related to what we talked about in unit number 7. Okay, so tell me, what does it mean? Success is not the key to happiness. Happiness is the key to success. If you love what you're doing, you will be successful. So first, what is the meaning? Give me the meaning. Who can give me the meaning to the first quote? I think we talked about this before. Which one do you think comes first?
Doing the things you love will make you happy and successful at life, basically.
How? Can you give me an
Basically,
example for that?
like following your dreams, or for example, for me, I like to do my hobby, which is music, which also makes me happy. And the more happy with your job or your hobby or whatever you're doing will make you feel successful at life.
Good, great. Now, Sayed Zaid basically summed it up for us. He told us the meaning and gave us an example for it. Let's say Amran. Thank you, Zaid. A positive attitude is important and can affect how you do things and can lead to success. Okay, can you give us an example for that, Amran? Okay, does anyone have a different answer for this one, or does anyone want to add anything to this quote? All right, let's go to the, okay, let's think about this question. Do you agree with this quote? Yes or no, and tell me why. For example, if you enjoy your career or studies, you will inevitably work hard to achieve the thing that you want. Positive attitude. Okay, good. If you enjoy your career or studies, you will inevitably work harder to achieve the things that you want. Okay. And eventually be more successful. All right. Think about this. Do you agree or disagree with this quote? And tell me why. Okay, so let's start with those who agree with this quote. Does anyone agree with this quote? All right, Reem. Why do you agree with it? Because you're doing something that you love? Okay, does anyone have a different answer? Does anyone disagree with this quote? Does anyone think that happiness or success is the key to happiness? It depends on our personalities. We should be self-sorted and self-motivated. Good. Yes. Anyone else?
In my opinion, I think it goes both ways.
How?
It depend on the situation that you are in.
Okay, how? Can you
Like
think of an example?
sometimes happiness comes before, and sometimes success comes before. So
Okay,
if
can
you
you think of an example?
if you are like freshly graduated and you get a new job
Mhm.
opportunity, then you'll be successful, then you are happy. And sometimes the other way around.
Okay, good. So you would say that sometimes success comes before happiness. Does anyone have a different opinion or a same opinion? Okay, now remember what this quote is basically telling you is that you don't always have to be, let's say, how do I explain this? Or how do I rephrase this for you? Success is not the key to happiness. Now remember, it says that it doesn't have to be, or you don't have to always be successful in order for you to be happy. In fact, you can be happy and then be successful because you are a happy person. Now, like what Maryam said, I would agree with her on that. That it depends on the person's mentality as well. Now, some people may think that, or some people may be, let's say, may have a thought that in order for me to be happy, I have to be successful first. Other people have a different mentality, and they would say that we are happy regardless of whether or not we are successful. This comes afterwards. Okay, it all depends on the person and the person's mentality. Now let's look at number 2 here. Success is never final. Failure is never fatal. Courage is what counts. What does this mean? Fatal means deadly. Success is never final. Failure is never fatal. Courage is what counts. What do you think this means?
I think what it means is that you're not gonna be always successful,
Mm-hmm.
and when it comes to failure, failure is not always bad,
Mm-hmm.
or it will damage your success. What
Good.
and being confident is, or being determined is what it counts really.
Good, exactly. One way to put it. Anyone else?
Also, it may means do not underestimate the effort that you make. Like if you are in a comfortable zone and then you are successful and you do not proceed your dream anymore. So maybe it is.
Okay, good. Anyone else? Maybe you will fail after success, so it's not the final. It's not the final. You can fail again, but you'll try again. What do you mean, Lahaf? Just because you succeed doesn't mean you should stop doing something. Failure is no reason to give up. Being strong enough to continue is the most important. Good, thank you, Amran. Okay, so basically what we understand from this quote is success is not the last thing that you will be doing. So don't think that when you are successful at something, it will last. Sometimes it may last, sometimes it may not. So basically it's not continuous, it's not constant. In addition to that, it says that failure is never fatal. So don't ever be afraid and don't ever think that failure is the last thing that you will ever go through. And after that, everything goes dark and everything ends. Failure is never deadly. In fact, what counts here, or the most important thing here, is just like what you said, it's courage. How brave are you to start again? How, let's say, courageous are you to fail and then start again and do everything all over again? Okay, now let's skip this part if you agree or disagree with this quote. And let's go to the next quote that we have here. Many of life's failures are people who did not realize how close they were to success when they gave up. What do you think this quote means? Good. One way to put it is what Amran is saying. The real failure is giving up and not trying again. You will never succeed if you quit. Good. Does anyone have a different answer?
They would have an inch way to success, but they have retrieved earlier.
Okay, good. Excellent. Anyone else? Many of life's failures are people who did not realize how close they were to success when they gave up. Can anyone think of an example to support this quote? Like basically it's telling you that sometimes people try, let's say, because they've tried so many times, they get so close to being successful, but then they stop right before they get to success. Okay, so basically what you conclude from this point is you never stop trying, never think that you failed and this is the end of the line. You always have to keep trying and sometimes it may work for you. Now, does anyone have an example for that? Let's say even an example from your own personal life, that's fine. Anyone? Okay. Now, let me tell you something. One way of a question in the exam will be that they might give you a quote like this one and they will ask you to explain it and give examples for it. Now, if you are a bit hesitant to talk here on the online classroom, I would suggest that you take this or keep these ideas in mind and organize your thoughts about them because you may be asked something about it. Okay, I remember in EL119 last course, we gave some students in the final exam we gave, or some of the students, they were given a quote as a question, and they were asked to give a speech about it for about 2 minutes. Not 2 minutes, it was a one-on-one conversation, say less than that, but basically the idea was, and then you get a speech, sorry, you get a quote and you're asked to talk about it. Okay, any questions so far? All right. Organize your thoughts about every discussion question that we talk about in class. Now, let's see, what do we have next? Page number 193. Let's see here. Okay, now let's go to exercise A here. Now, this is for you because I want you to prepare a brief speech about this topic. Now, think about this question. Number one, make a list of things you have been successful at. They can be big things such as graduating from high school, or small things such as cooking a delicious meal. Now, take a minute or two to think of the things that you are successful at. Go ahead and do number one. Now remember, at the end of this activity, I want you to participate with the entire class. So please write down your ideas. Go ahead, Amran. No problem. Just ask your friends about the homework later, yeah?
I also gotta go as well because I have EL117.
Yeah, that's okay. Just take the homework or ask your friends for the homework if I don't post it on LMS.
Okay.
Or you know what? Before you go, this is going to be your homework. So basically, you'll have to do, of course, the online practice, number one, the listening exercises and the online practice. Number two, the audio recording is going to be for unit number 8. Talk about a successful or unsuccessful experience that you've been through, and what did you learn from it? Okay, this is your homework.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Bless you, Zainab. Okay. All right. Now for the rest of us who are here, let's do this one. Make a list of the things you've been successful at. You're welcome, Fatma. Reem, there are audio recordings before the midterm, 5 before the midterm, and 5 after the midterm. So at the end of the course, you'll have a total of 10 recordings. You get used to it, Reem. Basically, think about this as a presentation, or don't think about this as a recording. Like, don't focus too much on that I'm recording myself. Just talk naturally. Remember, you don't have to be 100% accurate. It's just like, it's like you're talking to a friend. Don't think too much about it. Don't emphasize too much about it. Just talk normally for about 2 minutes. Okay, now let's look at question number 1 here. Make a list of the things you think you are successful at. Who can share their answers? What are the things that you think you're successful at? Sure, of course, as long as you explain how. What do you mean by you're successful at your friendships, Reem? In your friendships? How? How do you feel blessed? Does anyone have a different answer? Things that you are successful at, and tell me why.
I'm successful at cooking.
Okay, now why do you think that's success for you, Mariam?
I was trained by my grandmother to cook. So whenever we have like huge meals or family gatherings, they always ask me to do some dishes.
Okay, good. Who else? Other than friends, other than cooking, does anyone have a different answer? All right, now look at number 2. Make a list of things that you have tried but were not successful at. So now we talk about the things that we weren't successful in, things we were unsuccessful in. Again, they can be big things like having a degree, for example, or applying for a job, or small things like playing a game of tennis. Okay, thank you, Reem. Reem says time management. She's never been successful in that. I guess I can say the same thing. This is something that I've tried to be successful in, but things like I keep getting interrupted by things which make me late for most of the things that I have to do. Okay, anyone else with a different answer? Something that you were not successful in?
I tried playing guitar, but I wasn't successful in it.
Okay, how long did you try it for?
Like a month of training, but I wasn't good enough.
Okay, why do you think you weren't good enough? Why did you stop? It was only for 1 month, you say, yeah?
Yeah, maybe because I wasn't like devoted enough. I didn't give it much time.
Okay, all right, this is one idea. Anyone else other than Maryam and Reem? What do you mean, Zahra? You fail to control your kids or manage your kids, let's say. How would you feel in that? Zahra, are you writing? How do you mean, or what do you mean by failing to control or manage my kids? Okay, now remember, sometimes they keep playing and don't study at all. Okay, good. Now remember thank you for sharing your answers, guys. Now remember the most important thing here is that you keep in mind that it doesn't always necessarily have to be considered as a failure. You always have the opportunity to try again. You should always have the courage to stand up and try again. Okay, never give up on your whatever it is that you want to achieve. Do not ever stop. And if there's something that, let's say, to conclude that if you have something in mind, go ahead, try once, try twice, try more than that, try as many times as you need to until you achieve it. Sometimes, of course, now the most important thing about achieving or the most important thing about setting is a goal is for it to be reasonable and achievable. Okay, so for example, let's say right now, if I had let me think of an example for you. Let me say that I wanted to be, let's say that I'm 30, let's say I was 35 years old or 40 years old, and suddenly I decide to change my line of work and go study medicine. Now, although that may be very difficult for me at that age, if I was, let's say, 35 or 40, but this would be achievable for me because with hard work, I may be able to do it. But let's say then I'm 60 years old, and then all of a sudden I would like to change my line of duty or line of work and go for something as, and suddenly let's say I decide to become a pilot. Now, at that age and time, this job wouldn't be even suitable for me. Okay, so the most important thing for you is to set or determine yourselves to achieve reasonable or achievable goals, those goals that can be actually measured. Okay, you can try different ways to control them. Now, guys, think about the word control. We do not say control. ما نقول نتحكم, we say manage. شلون نديرهم. Okay, control would be a bit more negative. Now, we want to make it sound, let's say, a bit nicer. We say how to manage their behavior. Okay, now, like what Reem said, one way for you would be to try different ways or make them listen to you. Now, um, I would propose, Zahra, that you try different, let's say, behavioral techniques. Like, for example, try rewarding them, try the things that they do at school. And for example, for every kid, there's a chart. And for example, if you get 5 stars in your chart today for 5 things that you did correctly today, you will get, let's say, an hour of playing, for example. Now, there are so many different ways to overcome this thing that you consider as a failure, and there are so many solutions for it. Okay, think about this. Look at what they're doing at schools, for example, or look at what the teachers are doing at school. So teachers, basically what they do to manage the students' behavior is offer rewards, incentives, encourage students, tell them that, for example, if you got or if you did 5 good things today, you will get a reward for it. Now, this reward can be whatever it is that you would like to decide on it. Okay, remember, it doesn't always have to be considered as a failure, but thank you for your answer. All right, let's see, what do we have next? Okay, now think about this again. Give me something that you were successful at. What are the difficulties that you experienced in it, and how has this experience affected your life, or how did it affect you? And what did you learn from this experience? Think about this one. Something that you were successful at, and give me all of these, or give me the answers to all of these 4 questions. Hmm. Okay. Would anyone like to share their answers? Something you were successful at, the difficulties, the experiences, and what did you learn from this, or how did it affect your life? Anyone? Even if you want to participate in writing, that's fine.
I guess for me was joining college at 33 years old. Joining the university at this age was a difficulty for me at first. Also, beginning at this age and having a child and working at the same time, I had to juggle through the whole thing, and I had to give each of the things that I do its effort and time. But in the end, it made me more mature, and it lifted my skills in multitasking.
Good, great. Thank you, Mariam. Excellent and sufficient answer. Anyone else? Anyone else? Talk about something that you think you're successful at or you were successful at. Anyone? Okay, it's either this or talk about something that you are not successful at. Come on, think about this for another minute or two and give me the answers. You can either talk about something that you were successful at or something that you were not successful at. Would anyone like to share their answers about this part, something that you were not successful in? Anyone? Okay, now I think we are done with today's session, but because we didn't have that many participants, now please focus on what I'm going to be saying next. What I want you to do is for your homework, I want you to, number one, do the online practice. Number two, I want you to do the audio recording, which is talk about a successful or unsuccessful experience that you've been through. What did you learn from it? For about 2 minutes now. For this recording only, or just for this recording, I want you to send it on my email by Thursday, 19th of March. Okay, so this recording only, I need it by Thursday, 19th of March on my email. asma.almeer@aou.org.bh. Okay, this recording only, I'm going to need it on my email. This is going to be considered as your classwork, the thing that you do, or as your participation in class. So please do it and send it on my email. Remember, it has to be either MP3 or MP4. Any other format will not be downloaded on my computer. Okay, now let's look at today's date and take the attendance. Today is 17th of March. Okay, Zainab Habib Abbas, are you here? Zainab. زينب حبيب عباس موجودة؟ Was it Zainab Koitan? Okay. All right. صفاء جعفر. صفاء. مريم جعفر. حسيبة. أمينة عيسى. أمينة أحمد عيسى. أمينة. Amina, are you here? Or was she here before?
Are we done with the class already?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is Amina here? Where is the chat? Okay. Hasiba, I thought you left. Okay. Muhammad Ahmed Muhammad. Noreen. أو نورين. بشرى حسين. Neda. Neda, is it Neda or Nadia? Okay, because you have to check with registration. Your name is registered as Nadia. Zahra Khalil. Zahra Said Adnan. إيمان حسين أحمد جعفر. ولاء فيصل. ولاء. طاهرة جعفر. طاهرة مهدي. طاهرة مهدي. طاهرة مهدي موجودة؟ And I can see your name, but I don't see you here. محمد إبراهيم. محمد إبراهيم جمعة. سيد زيد. He was here. رهف. مريم محمد سالم.
Yes.
عمران. فاطمة حسن صادق. حسن محمد حسن. زينب حسن يوسف. زينب أحمد رضي. سارة إبراهيم. سارة إبراهيم. خديجة.
Yes.
سمية. ريم عيسى. شفاء. Okay, did I miss anybody's name here? No one? Okay. What's her name? Tahira Mehdi, are you here? Tahira. Okay. Now, guys, Any questions about the homework assignment? I need it on my email by this Thursday. Any questions or we're good? Zahra, something may be wrong with from your side. Okay. Any questions? Send me the recording this Thursday on my email. Okay. If you have any questions, please email me. All right. Thank you, guys. I enjoyed this with you, and please keep in mind, check your LMS and check your email from time to time, because I will tell you, I'll email you to tell you about the presentations, of course, and I'll be downloading all the presentations that I did with you in class on LMS right now. Okay, thank you all. I'll see you next week, inshallah. If you have any questions, again, email me. Thank you and goodbye.